Sir Luton, and welcome to this month's Markov's Gallery. My name is Scott, I'm here with Sam.
Howdy, pilgrims.
And we're going to review all the cool stuff that we saw in August for September's gallery.
And believe it or not, the date in September is actually still in single digits. We've actually got our act together this month. Way! Right then, let's on with the show. So, first pick of the month is mine as usual, and it is this lovely Lokess done by Caleb Street here. I really like this model. It's one of the standout models in the Wild West X lineup, and I think he's done a sterling job of getting all the details on here. We've got the mechanics of the cybernetics around her body, a lovely weathered cannon here, and a really nice looking base as well with the cracked earth and the tufts. It's simple and it's extremely effective. That's going to look really nice on anyone's table, that is.
Yeah, it's a really, really nice version of Lokess. It's a model that I have on my list of things to paint, but I have held fire on buying any more Hex until the King in Yellow posse comes out. So it's on my list. Lord knows when it'll actually get done, but yeah, he's done a really nice job, especially on the fur work and the metal work. It's a really, really nice job.
I quite like the rubber tubing he's got going into her head. That really genuinely does look like the rubber tubing flex you get. That's just a nice little touch there, I think. So well done.
Okay, so my first pick of Wild West X's this month is by Modeler Phil, and it is his Doc Holliday. Now, I'm fairly certain we've ever so slightly cheated on this because this is not a new photo. This is quite an old photo. It's just a really well set scene, just on a tiny, like, the 25mm bases, something like that. They're not very big. So to have the bar and the cards and the pose to sort of, where he's sort of slightly offset from the bar to make him look very intimidating and like he's just walking away from a game of cards or something like that. It's a really, really nicely set photo. It's one of those things that we always say, like, if you can get your photo to tell a story, then perfect. And this is a prime example of that for sure.
It looks like we've just caught him just as he stops leaning up against the bar. He's put his cards down in irritation. He's just pulled himself up straight and he's about to walk forward and raise hell. I also like the photography work here. In theme-keeping sepia background, I think he's probably put some filter on that to give it a sepia look on the back. It does look like a coloured tin plate from the time for tin plate photography. So many nice features here. The woodwork on the bar, rough and ready. This isn't a posh saloon he's in here. It's a rough and ready one there. You've got that metal rail running around the bottom where you rest your feet. There's something just underneath the bar there. I can't quite make out what it is. Something metal. You've got the woodwork along the bottom, and he's picked out the rough edges of that. So nice. And Doc himself, all the creases in his clothes have been wonderfully picked out. I would say realistic colour scheme, browns, leathers, etc., as you would actually see somebody wearing in the day. And the angle of photography as well, caught him from above, so his head's tilted down so he can't see his eyes, just adds to that sinister look.
Yeah, it's really, really well shot, really well painted, lovely work.
So this is my pick, and I went for these stunning Hex Beasts by Jesse Alfo. What really caught my eye was the use of purple for the boils and goo that we get. An unusual choice for sure for Hex Beasts, and I think it really, really works. It's a lovely bruised of a purple, especially as it picks out the highlights on some of them. He's put highlights onto them sort of white, so they look shiny and raised and swollen. Also, I love is how he's picked out the vein work on the bodies, so that you've got those white webbed vein running along their arms, stomach and chests. It looks deceptively simple, That is not simple to do. There are so many details on Hex Beasts to pick out, and do it well like this is hard work. I'm very impressed with this.
Yeah.
These are actually work in progress photos. I think he's just finished them because I think he's just posted a new photo of them.
We may have to include those in a future episode if they're done. I really like the skin colour. It's an unusual skin colour. It's not something you generally see for Hex Beasts. Most people go for the box art green.
Or bright yellows and so on. But grey like this is, it's nice.
Yeah, it's sort of a grey, greeny sort of, almost graveyard sort of colours in a way. And like you say, the big purple pustules that look like they're set to pop, and the webbing on the arms. I'm not sure how he's done that, whether it's maybe dry brushing, maybe airbrushing possibly, or maybe just like painstakingly gone over them himself with the edge highlighting. I'm not sure, but yeah, spectacular work. This is my second pick for Wild West Exodus. It's a Apex Hellion by Ben Hamilton. Now, my initial thought that this was a custom base for the Apex Hellion, but some quick Googling shows that it's actually an older sculpt for the Apex Hellion. So it's very cool to see some of the old Outlaw Miniatures stuff still around and still being painted by people, and especially when it's done as well as this has been done. Like all the metalwork on the wings and the arms and the feet, in contrast with the red and blue cloth work and the stump. Like we've seen Ben's work on the gallery before, and always just sets the bar for Wild West Exodus stuff. You know, he's one of the people that we always see a lot of work for, and it's always exceptional stuff. And this is proving that case.
What I like is, I don't think I've actually seen a Hellion painted, and one thing I hadn't noticed about the sculpt was the wings are made of wood. Never noticed that before. Thought they were all steel, but no, look, they're clearly, you can tell where it was painted. That's just not just from the way he's done it. They're clearly wooden wings with metal tips on. So many good textures going on here, not just the wood, his harness, his shirt, the blue highlighting, edge highlighting on his legs, and the steel of his feet, and the blades. A lovely shiny, shiny blade on this. Details in his face and his eye. Ben's work is always stunning, and this is just proof exemplar of that. Another fantastic model.
Yeah, I think this is non-metal metallics as well for the metal work, as far as I can make out anyway. Not 100% on that, but it looks like it's non-metal metallics to me. So that makes it even more impressive.
Yeah. Those are seriously hard techniques. Look at the reflection shines on the scythe.
Yeah.
Brilliant. And back into Dystopian Wars, and my first pick is this fantastic Minerva carrier. What do I love about this? Well, what's not to love about this carrier? For a start, we've got the weathering on it. It's not shiny. I love when people do weathering like this, especially when it's done to this level here. Look at it on the actual prow as it goes under the water, and the muck going around the bulge on the side of the ship. I'm trying to think what can I describe that, the bulgy bit at the bottom of the ship. You've got this fantastic window work. Those tiny little windows have got just a dab each of a highlight in the middle of the blue to give it a proper glass look. And then finally, and this must have took ages to do, that Italian flag colour striping down the edges of the deck and the striping down the deck. That's done with a brush. You can see when you look up close on the up close picture, you can see it's been done with a brush. At least I think it is. That's just so hard to do. And it looks, the overall effect is brilliant.
Yep. Yeah, it's done in a similar style to what I do with mine. And I think Adam's done a much better job than I've done on mine of painting. I think he's possibly painted it black and then over highlighted it with the metal and then painted the stuff on top of that. Or maybe he's sprayed it with metal and then painted over that and then washed it with an oil wash. maybe, or a dark regular wash. I'm not sure. But yeah, that decking work is pristine. It's so good. And so is the work on the windows, like you say. He's even done a little bit of the window work on the planes by the looks of it as well, which is phenomenal. And I do like the colour scheme for those planes.
Yeah. I love the stripe on the wings. Again, hard to do. There's a flight stripe on each wing.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Really cool. Yeah. It's it's making me want those Italians even more.
Every blooming month it's you. Oh, I want the Sultaners. Oh, I want the Italians. Make your mind up and buy something.
I can't do it. I want to. I currently have sat in 2 separate carts in 2 separate windows, like a Minerva box and a Alliance starter box, and the pre-order for the Egyptian Sultanate starter box, and I keep almost like just clicking yes on them. Cohen's video today on the Orbat, if you haven't already checked it out, for the Alliance Orbat, and him talking through all the cool new rules for that and stuff like that, I was just like, oh man, that just sounds like a lot of fun. I want to play some of this stuff. And then I'm like, no, you've got no shelf space for it. You cannot buy it. Stop it. Close the windows and leave it. But this is just, yeah, the want is there.
What's that? I have a mighty need from Invader Zim.
Yeah. So my first Dystopian Wars pick from Atlak. I'm assuming that's how it's pronounced. From Discord, he is really cool. Levant Alliance fleet, man. As the second I saw this, I was like, yep, that's going in. Like, this is going to be hard to top this month for Dystopian Wars, because the glow work's awesome, the water effect is awesome, the really nice, simple, subtle colour scheme for the decks and the hulls on the ships is perfect. It just looks incredible.
If I didn't know better, I'd swear that was a filter doing the glow work.
Yep.
But that is incredible. Or it's actually stuck an LED inside the back of the ships, but no, that is actual paint doing that glow work. Holy moly. Look at the water. Look at the wake they're creating.
Yep.
And then finally, look at the conversion he's done with one of the carriers with a tower on, and I think that's a enlightened engine pod, or is it a particle beam? I can't tell what he's done. He's turned upside down to make a tower there. But that looks brilliant. Yep. This is, we say this a lot, but this is next level. This is, never mind the cutting edge, this is the high velocity bullet.
Yep, this is the railgun technology.
This is the railgun of cutting edge.
Yep. Yeah, that glow work detail is insane. Like you say, it's almost looking like it's been digitally enhanced, but it's not. And it just works so well, because the reflective surface of the hulls makes that more real world plausible. Like, it makes you go, well, that's how that would look, and your brain says, yes, this is real. This is absolutely real. This is not a paint job. This is happening in real life. There is glowing things in there. I almost imagine that if you went to pick it up, you wouldn't want to pick it up by the back, because you'd be afraid it's too hot to pick up.
It looks like a glowing element, doesn't it? Also, I know this is not deliberate, but also his mat that he's got it's a work of art in itself. That is pretty cool effect he's ended up with there, with all that paint squelched over it. But I know that's just his mat. But yeah, fantastic. Okay, so this is my pick. This is Philippe's Imperium aerial fleet. Now, we've been seeing bits and pieces of this over the last couple of months, and he's put this photo out of it all together, and wow, that's cool. It's just so crisp, so clean. White, of course, as we all know, is a horrible colour to try and paint, and he has pulled it off magnificently with this light, very light, almost white grey on the sides, contrasting with that deep burgundy red for the Prussian crosses. Wonderful colour for the woodworks on the decks, and his SRS tokens with the wakes and the basing. that wins competition. You put that on there, and that stacks up very nicely against the fleet we've just seen in terms of quality. Imagine both of those on the same table at the same time. What a set of photos you'd get out of that.
Yeah, there's not much more to say about this, is there? I mean, not only is it an amazing paint job, it's a white paint job, which is notoriously difficult. The water effect on the base is amazing. The glow work on some of the weapons, fantastic as well. And even the SRS tokens are so neatly and nicely done. They pop so well. Like, you're not going to accidentally put one of those down and be like, where did I put that? Where's it gone? Like, you're not going to miss that. And the trails on the wings and the tails for the planes, amazing work.
Wonderful. Do these two live anywhere near each other? Because we need to get these two fleets on the table at the same time. I don't think they do, but we that's something I want to happen.
I have a what's it called from Zoolander, where they have a pose off.
Oh, that's we need that to happen. We need a World Championships and these two to turn up and put those fleets on the table together.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so my final pick for this month for Dystopian Wars, the Tian-Longs for the Empire by Phil Tozer. I'm not 100% sure that they are Phil's, because he was the person who ran the UK tournament last month, and I saw these and I was just instantly, yep, those absolutely need to go in the gallery. So if they're not yours, Phil, give me a shout and I will make sure the person is credited properly, because they 100% need it. It has a very Atomic Age Godzilla vibe to it in a good way. Like, it has that cool, almost anime mech style to it, which is something I absolutely love about it. It's got a great colour scheme. It's picked out all the nice details and workings of the model as well. It has made them look really menacing and also really unique. A lot of people have been painting them like the metallic-y colours, but these have gone sort of a matte colour on it instead, so they almost look like they're made out of some form of really tough polymer instead of metal, which I really like, because it lends it to the Japanese mech style thing. And I know these are meant to be Chinese, but still it has that quality to it, and I really love these.
I like the colours as well. I thought organic, it looks bone-like.
Yeah.
If you could make metal be bone or something along those lines, I think that's what they've got here going. So there's almost a live mecha. There's wonderful work on the engines. It's just a little bit greasy and a little bit dirty on the exhaust pipes as well. These are so good.
Yeah, amazing work.
I'm also slightly jealous of that dice in the background. that white dice there. I'm thinking, I like that dice. I want that dice set. But that's by the by. So good. The reds and the blues contrasted with the bone-like carapace. It's picked out some perfect colour pops. It's fantastic. I love it. So this is my pick of terrain I saw. This is Slovak Cat's Lava Terrain Mountains he's made. I think I've got this right. They're a kit he's bought, but he's added Dystopian Age bits to it. You can see, for example, there's some generator stops on there. I think that's what he did. But just like the engines on the Levant fleet we've got, that looks hot. That looks like you would burn your hand picking this up. It's fantastic. It actually looks like it's melting. And you could easily put these on the game, and you could add some hazardous terrain out of this. Obviously, lava's not something you'd want to put a ship too close to, so you could easily add some rules to this to make that a very difficult board to manoeuvre around. Getting too close, take a hit or something like that. But again, we've got the building work on there, the towers and things that he's got on there. Really, really good use of colour, and he's got object source lighting on there with some of the towers there. There's definitely a lighter colour going on where it's closer to the lava than it is away. I want these. I want to buy them. I want them on my table.
Yeah, I'd be interested to know where he got them from. Whether they're 3D prints or whether he's bought them from somewhere else or what. Because, yeah, they're very cool. It's like Mustafar and Tatooine had a baby. It's got a very volcanic thing, but the buildings are very Tatooine sort of buildings.
That's a mental image I'm going to need some time to get rid of. Thanks for that.
They're really, really cool. I'm just like tempted to go and Google lava terrain, see if I can find them. So if you're watching the video, please
let us know where you got them.
Let us know where you got them from, because
I'm pretty sure he did tell us in the Discord, but that being Discord, I can't flip it and find it afterwards.
Yep. Okay, so I cheated a little bit for my table today, simply because when I saw this, it was very, very striking. It's not all too often that you get display cabinet shot of someone's fleet, so I was just like, yeah, I'm going to include this. He did say he needs to finish his Zen Medal off and one of his other smaller flying fortresses, which I don't know which one it is because it's blocked off, but it's a really sort of cool traditional red and yellow colour scheme for the Empire fleet. It's also, because I own one of these cabinets as well, it's also given me a real life point of reference for the Chinese battleships. They are massive. Like the Zamedao is huge, but looking at those like Yangtze and the Heilong, and I don't know what the other one is.
The one with the battle drawbridge on it, yeah.
Yep, don't know.
And then we've got the Japanese on the other side as well.
And that's sort of like, that's toned the yellow highlights down a little bit into a more, it looks almost like a burnished gold sort of colour. So it's sort of similar in tone, but it's not exactly the same. So
which fits, because they're not the same country.
Yeah. It's a really nice touch that you've got similar elements, but not the same. And it's just a really nice display point.
The red put me in mind of terracotta, which again, very indicative of the Chinese. To paint that many, that consistently, is impressive. Consistency is not one of my things I do with mine. I'll paint one, and then I'll try and do the same thing, and it will, even though I've used the same paints, put the same paints in the same place, they'll look like two completely different ships. I'm like, yeah, that's why I don't do consistent, and then why my colour schemes are always mixed up. But there's so much work gone into this. There's hours and hours of work to get this overall effect, and every single ship on that, from the biggest to the smallest, has had serious time spent on it to get it to look amazing.
Yeah. Also, I don't know if the Tian-Longs at the back have been
completed. There's one that's completed, definitely, in the dark red. The other three, I'm not sure if he's completed those yet, but they still look pretty cool.
Yeah, it would be interesting to know if they are finished or not. I'd like to see a close-up photo of the Tian-Longs, because I think they're really nice looking as well. So, yeah, if you're listening, Sam, give us a couple of close-up photos so we can share with the post, maybe, when this goes out.
Nice. I've just noticed the smaller Sky Fortress, I think it's the Queen Show, it's got the open deck side facing to us, and you can actually see he's picked out the aircraft inside.
Yep.
So he's obviously, remember to paint the inside before building it.
Yes.
Surprise pick from me, an honourable mention. I saw this on the Discord. Lord Blackfang put these up. These are 3D printed by him, and I couldn't not include these. No, they're not strictly speaking dystopian, but that's all sorts of creepy mind horror that just I love. Look at that massive teeth. I want them. They're brilliant.
I did not consent to this photo being added into the what's it? It is horrible. Like, I appreciate the workmanship that's gone into it, but that is just... I don't have a thing about teeth, but there's something about them being embedded in the rock and being so giant and weird that just doesn't make me feel good.
New phobia unlocked. You didn't have a thing about teeth before you started this. You do now. Yes, I made a joke about it being the Tooth Fairy having visited Cthulhu and couldn't quite get them to Fairyland, so dropped them. I mean, if you really want to crank up the horror, you could paint the rocks pink instead of rock coloured.
Yeah, that's...
Gums. Gums. Yeah. Oh, these are awesome. They are 3D prints. It's done. Apparently the teeth in there are actually scans of real teeth, just to make it creepier.
Yeah, that doesn't make it any better, does it?
Oh, brilliant. We had to include... I had to include it, because that's genius. Yeah, it is.
I'm not going to lie, it's very, very clever. And it does add that horror element into it, which, you know, the dystopian age does have its horrors and creepy things going on. So, you know, maybe it's a failed enlightened experiment or hex summoning or something like that transformed things.
What's really good is, of course, it works at either scale. You could put that on an Exodus board and it still works. Just need some eyeballs. Yeah. It needs some eyeballs just randomly blinking at you. And then we're really into the Phil Tippett Mad God sort of area. Yeah. But if you haven't seen that film, you need to see that film. So that's the gallery for this month.
Yeah, that's everything for this month. So at the point of recording, we have all but the Crown and Imperium Orbats full publish has happened. So there is a lot of stuff to go through. There's not much new art to see. There is
a couple of new characters on the front covers.
Yep. And the Alliance front cover has the newly adjusted Lady Liberty on it, which is I'm still torn on.
Brilliant.
A lot of people seem to really, really like it, and that's good. I don't know whether it's a step up for me or it's on the same level as the previous one, but it's a clever adjustment of it. I don't think it's quite as goofy, to be fair to it.
It's much more realistic. Yeah. I can see that being an actual thing that could be built rather than the extremely goofy, way too top-heavy Lady Liberty on a rocket surfboard.
Yeah,
but
I think that's fair.
I love the new model. I think, yes, that works. It's just goofy enough without being stupid. And I can't wait to see what that's going to look like once some of our many, many gallery picks get hold of it. I'm sure one of them will make it to the gallery.
Yeah, almost certainly somebody's going to paint an excellent version of it. I
reckon so many people are going to buy it. We could have a whole month where it's just them.
Yeah, just
here's Phil's, here's Cohen's.
The entire month. Yeah, that'd be great. Ooh. What's the name of the ship? Is it in the Orbat?
I believe it is in the Orbat. I think it's Cour, C-O-U-R, Courun, or something like that. I believe it's in the Orbat.
Okay. We'll have to have a look.
Yeah.
Depending on when it comes out. I'll have to have a look at it.
That's your challenge then, people. As many of you buy one of those as possible, and we'll have just like a whole row of them painted on.
We'll have like an Alliance April where it's just those. The entire, 12 slots is just that ship. Perfect.
Hey, you know what? Themed months ain't a bad idea. Obviously, we won't have everything from that month. We could then go back and pick our favourite for every faction. That's not a bad idea. So here's the Markov gallery for the Enlightened. Here's the Markov gallery for the Imperium, and so on.
Maybe instead of doing one every month around Christmas, instead of doing, because people tend not to be doing stuff around Christmas because they're focusing on their Christmas plans and things, maybe we can just go back and do that for Christmas.
Greatest Hits, Volume 2, plus all the ones we didn't get to pick as well.
Alliance Greatest Hits and so on. Go through all the factions and maybe not have quite so many picks. Maybe have like a top 6. But we'll figure that
Something like that.
Yeah. As a litmus test, I did sort of ask my daughter and my wife, like, without any context, what do you think of this? And they were both like, that's really interesting. So I think I'm the one that's not gelling with it. So yeah, I look forward to seeing the model for certain.
Cool.
What else is there that's happened? Oh, we've had the little tease of a blue connection of some kind from the Warcradle Studios Facebook account today, and I think it's on Twitter as well, of what's on Daz's painting table currently.
It's a very intriguing photo. It really is intriguing.
It's very intriguing. It's
I can't wait to see it.
As I said, it looks like a union of aeronautics and freedom.
You worked on that pun, didn't you?
No, it came to me in like 5 seconds. Yeah, so that's going to be cool to see. Whether that's going to be another thing that I mentioned today was it just occurred to me because I was talking about Halloween, is that there are only 2 sets of releases for this year, possibly, unless they break their tradition of December releases. We've only got October and November. And one of those is going to contain the new 2-player starter set almost certainly, because that's what they said they're aiming for. So
I do not believe they will break the December. It's not just a tradition, it's a business decision. Nothing sells because they've already made their picks. So there's no point putting anything out for actually being available on Christmas because the shelves are already stocked. So we will have, November will be our last month of release, and then January, of course, new stuff comes out.
So yeah, last couple of months of interesting things to come. I am very excited. So it's got to be October or November. We'll see the Union Air stuff come in.
Yes.
Whatever medium that be. So exciting, very exciting. And I think that's it. I can't remember anything else that's been shown off. Oh, today we saw some in the last gallery. We mentioned the acrylic tokens we saw in the Moscow tournament in Russia. And Russ, who ran it, is also doing a campaign, a global campaign for everybody to join in on. And he's done some tokens specifically for any participants. So if you do, I think he said, a complete campaign turn with them, then you'll be able to get hold of some of those at the cost of postage. So I would encourage people to at least go and give it a look if you're interested, because the tokens look really nice.
I've read some of the narrative he's put on, and it's a good narrative. He's really thought about what makes a good campaign, and it looks like a ton of fun to play. So if you've got the time and you can get the games in, do give it a go.
Yep, definitely. If we had the time and the space, we'd definitely be joining it. So.
Yeah, slightly disappointed that we looked and went, we're not going to get that many games in between now.
We don't get that many games in every 6 months, let alone every...
No, we don't. We'll have to get another one coming up.
And I think that is absolutely it for this session. So thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Happy trails, pilgrims.